Hello there, this is Chauncey White, aka Charlie Barley, coming back at you yet again with another live video of us beating the brakes off of us really having a good time winning against roulette. I often say that I don't like to call it beating the game, because any game that has a chance to beat you, it's impossible to beat, but it's very well possible to be dominant, and dominant to the degree that you don't even lose. That's dominant, but never underestimate the power of options and chance. Okay, just be prepared. That's what you've got to do. All right, so let me just log in here, and I'm going to show you guys what we're doing over here at permutationspro.com. I'm going to log into my account here, and I have the wrong password. Some people be thinking that I'm not somehow I'm editing this. I've had a lot of couple junk mails about that, and so I can tell you that it's 100% real. I have zero time to edit a video like this. I mean, I can't, I'm not that good, but what I am good at is analyzing risk and breaking down systems. I've always been good at that, and kind of an engineer, maybe, if you want to call it that, but I think to a or social engineer. I don't know, it's I've always been interested in how things worked, and roulette hasn't been any different. When I really broke down the game, I just come to realize that it's no different than anything on the market. It's pretty much all the same, to be honest with you. All right, so let me close out here. I got all these windows open. Sorry, guys. Let me come back to some of this.
You're welcome, sir.
Close this stuff. All right. So let's see here. All right. So what I'm gonna do here, I basically use columns to play with. I use numbers to predict with. The reason that I use numbers is because numbers represent, each number on the board represents oddity, a chance, a risk variable is what I like to call it, because it means that the ball has a chance to jump on 36, 35, and 34, so on, so forth and so on. So I don't really analyze the risk by red and black or columns or evens or odds, even though we use those to play with. That's what's really cool about the game of roulette. You can break down the game, say, you know, because I've gotten it to a point where I kind of can tell you where it's going to land. Sometimes I'm off, not off too bad. I'm off enough to catch the progression. So, but for the most times I'm on, and when I'm on, I'm hot. No, just kidding. But when I'm on, I'm pretty much on. If you go and look at some of the videos, you'll see what I'm talking about. But I dissect it by looking at the pattern play of the numbers, and then I'll narrow it down to maybe a couple numbers, and then I'll give us a range of numbers to play, which is generally 6. But instead of just going through the 6, we just play the dozens. The reason we play the dozens is to give us a bigger, broad scope in case I might be a little off. So as long as we do that, we win consistently. All right, so looking for some opportunity to jump in the game. If you're interested in other, oh, by the way, so not so much other team play stuff, but individual stuff. We have that available too. But for team play, basically what's happening here is I'm playing it for you. You just come into a 800 number. You call in, and either two things: one, you played through Bovada, or B, you tell me where you're playing, You just make sure you send us the screenshots of every time you win, and every time the ball spins, you just tell me what spun, the number. No need for the color or anything. Just tell me the number and give me the historical data for what you've got. Give me the number, and I'll tell you what to play next. Doesn't matter. The board doesn't matter if it's English or European or any of that. All right. So, with that said, all right, because this is a online feed, we may get some of this type of interruption. So just bear with me. Also, too, I'm predicting the numbers. I'm just showing you in prediction mode how this kind of works live. So there is no balance, but as you can see, it won't even allow me to. Well, now you can't make bets because there's no bets. But as you can see, it lights up when I hover it, so that way you know that it's a live game here. Believe it or not, I've actually had a couple emails of people asking me, was I editing these? All right, so based on what I see here, we're gonna go after number 7 through 12. So we'll be putting money on dozens 1 in this one, and then this one 30. What was this? 30? 30. Yeah, 35, 28, 35, and 28 and 4 1. We would have to wait for her. But I can tell you this. I believe whatever's going to happen might be coming in here on that one. All right, so let's reignite our feed. So we're dozens 1 with her, particularly 7 through 12. The reason I choose 7 through 12 is not because it's a sequential thing. The numbers are like 7 through 12 is sporadically around the wheel. So it's more about the individual numbers versus the fact that they're sequential when you actually play it. All right, so we lost that progression. We're going to follow our progression chart and increase this from, I don't know, if we were playing $5, I think the next bet would be $8. If we're playing $1, it might be $2 or something along that line. So we had a 31, 29, 30. Yeah, so we'll stay here with her. Oh, the new dealer. Not sure what's going on here. All right. Well, well, it might change in a moment. Yeah, because I'm seeing a lot of stuff repeat here, so I'm going to have to wait for her. Boom. As I told you, we predicted it yet again, 7 through 12. It came in 10. Certainly 1 and 1. Let's go and see how far we got to go. Oh, depends on what she do here. 10, 30, 31, 9. All right, so she's been over here. 31. All right, well, we'll just have to wait and see. All right, I know I'm kind of talking on the side here. Basically, during the process, I'm trying to, I'm making calculations on the spot. It took me a moment, I'd say maybe a year and a half to kind of really get this down. Once you get it down, you kind of get it down. You can kind of eyeball it. But it takes a lot of practice, just like anything. Lots of practice. All right, so 18. All right, so because this 18 hit, I would say between 13 and 18. 10 and 18. Yeah, I will go between 13 and 18. Not this bet, but this is perhaps where we may be going. I got it, and the reason I'm saying between 13 and 18, I'm looking at 13 and 15 particularly. But I always, if I'm playing by myself, say for example, this is the reason I'm showing you this on the board, and I always say this in all my videos. The reason I show you this is because when I do predictions, when I try to break down the risk of stuff, I have to do it by the numbers. So I'm always looking at two numbers, but I give it a range just in case I might be a little off. And in this case, I was off. So, but we're still in the same. Well, maybe not. Oh, we're not betting this. No way. Okay. All right, but yeah, this will definitely be coming back. So we wouldn't have played that bet yet. We'll just give it another and see what happens, and then we'll start playing. But I think it's going to be coming back in here. And let's see here. See, she's really right now. I give you a little bit. She's really high low. So, for example, 31, we can call it a high. 9 is a low, and she's mid now. But you can see a lot of high low, high low low, high low, high. It's just high low, high low, high low. It's just this game is just really chaotic. You got to study it, and what's even more ballsy about what we're doing. Oh, okay. So yeah, let's put the bet here. 26 and 6. So, no. 19 through 24. Dozens 2 for her. So we're gonna bet this. 19. I might be wrong, but we won't be wrong about dozens 2. But I think we need to shift. If I were playing this based upon theory, then I would probably shift to 19 and 24. But doing this during team play, we'll just be putting money on the dozens here. What's going on here? Nothing much. Nothing much there. Okay, so what happened? Alright, so we lost, and we lost to a 5-6. Alright, so let's go to a second progression on these dozens. I'm shifting the energy, or shifting the way that I'm seeing this. It went to a 5, so I'm going to go from 16 to 21, and which means we're still here in the second column. But if I were playing it based upon my the way I'm looking at this, my focus now is between these 17 and 19. But obviously we're playing in the second dozens. All right, so if this cuts off, which it might, remember we were 5, 6, 28. Remember where we were, because if we hit anything in the dozens, then we're good. Okay, we lost, so we need a third progression. Staying in the second dozens here too. And with her, we're still kind of nowhere. And reset this. Because I have a feeling it's probably going to time out. If she does give, let me see, we're 1, 2, so this will be the third progression right here. And we're still in the dozens in 16 through 21, if to be exact. We'll have to wait for Alania. All right, so we won right here, 16 to 21. Boom. Now here's the question: how am I able to do this? Am I just getting lucky? All these videos that I put up, you think this is luck? There's a science behind it, folks. It's a science, and it doesn't mean that I can. The reason I'm able to do this is because there are built-in, when you understand how these numbers are coming up, Is one I think has been one of the most understudied things in the universe is how the numbers flow in roulette, how to calculate risk in this game like you would the stock market or any business. Oh, okay. Let's go in dozens two here. Let's go in dozens two and 19 through 24. Yep, 19 to 24 dozens two here. Let's see if we can get her before I cancel out here. Let's see if we can get this one done. All right, so we lost. All right, maybe I was being a little quick. All right, so it was a 26, 5, 22. Okay, so that will mean we're in 13, 18. So this will be the second progression, and we will stay in the dozens two, and we'll whatever the bet is, $8, whatever the minimum, or whatever the role you're playing, low, high, middle, whatever. That's how you play. Also, too, there's a way to. Technically, there really isn't a way for the game to beat us. The only way we would lose if, in the end, is because we don't have patience. That's the only way you can lose. If you have patience, the only thing you have to do is just be patient for if you can be patient for 45 minutes, you might have to wait for this one thing to happen, which will happen. But if you're able to wait like that, this guy's the limit in terms of this game. Most people just don't have that kind of patience, which is why I've broken it down where you can play more frequently, but to almost guarantee your win, as long as you got patience. I just can't guarantee it, but I almost know that it's scientifically maybe impossible. I mean, I can say it's not impossible. It's just going to be so rare that it's like hitting the lottery. All right, so this will be our third progression. Stay in the same area, dozens two. And the thing is, once I get a bead on numbers, they generally don't change. They generally stay in the same area, or I'm sorry, guys. Got to reset this. They generally don't change once I've gotten a bead. They tend to stay in the same vicinity. Yeah, so this will we'll ride this, and especially looking at this board, we'll stay in this area until the duration, unless something changes drastically. But again, I'm looking at anomalies from historical data, and this historical data is what's propelling me to do a certain thing. So it's again, you're just studying the patterns of the numbers. That's all, and you don't care whether it's in any. It's not about the dozens. This is just here to make it easier for you to bet. That's all that is, because 13 and 14 are not next to each other on the wheel. All right, so just don't think of it. Just think of this as making it easier to bet. All right. We're gonna win. So this will be the fourth progression. Same thing, right here in dozens two. This game is not that good. The only thing it can do is take you to a higher progression more than 4. That's the only thing it can do. And that might just take some minutes. It can do that. Sometimes you win right off the bat. Sometimes you have to go, deeper into a progression. Just depends. Like I've said, I've never seen it go beyond 7, which it possibly can. It doesn't matter if it does or doesn't, but and in this case, zeros don't matter. Even though we lost, zeros would not matter in this case. All right, so the now what I don't necessarily do this in our classes, but or our sessions. But in this case, what we can do in this case, because we've already been 4 progressions in, We can put monies in dozens 1 and 3, technically, and we could even ride this streak and that streak and put money in that like that to force the game, to make money in forcing our position at this moment. I actually kind of teach that in one of my one of my other, I think it's Anomalies, is it? Or maybe Columbine. Now, I know I've been saying, too, that this is the area was going to hit. Yeah, it hit. But that wasn't our bet. Okay? That wasn't our bet. So even though it hit, that's still not our bet. So I don't care that 14 hit, even though this is the area I knew it was going to come in. It's just not our bet. I mean, the thing is, it's coming. And the thing is, but it has to come in a certain time, period. Doesn't matter if it comes out of time. And in this case, it came, but it came out of the time. And now we're just going to have to wait, which is fine. Which is fine with me. Because the truth is, I've never seen it even match or come near our abilities in terms of progression. It hasn't come close. All right, so 1432. Oh, it's lining up. All right, so we probably, well, let me just wait. I was going to say we'll shift, but I'm gonna wait here, see what this next one comes up as. But it's quite a feat though. When you think about it, every bet that I'm making, the odds are heavily stacked against us from a perspective of betting, because even if you're putting on columns, you have a 2-to-1 disadvantage, okay, including the house edge. So how do you win with that type of disadvantage? It's because we're only using the dozens to do the bets. We're not using the dozens to break down the number. All right. You see what I'm talking about? See, it's hitting in this area, but that's still not our bet. It's going to hit again, but it may hit. We're going to have to wait, but it's just not our bet right now. It's just not our bet. It's winning, but we got to do it in a certain time. But it's definitely hitting. See, this is when it hits out of order like this. I know I'm in my calculation range because it's right there. It's falling in there. It's fell in there twice, all right? But it's still not in our certain order. We have to do it in a certain order to be right, because if you break the chain, then the chain is completely broke. You have to reset. We're not going to break the chain, even though we're just like right there at it. It's keep hitting right where we want it. But just be patient. Just to be, I wish we could just bet in here, force it out. Of course we don't have any. How if I had money, I'd put it in here. Because now it's wanting to fight. And we may have a little fight on our hands. Or we may have to switch anyway. We'll see. We'll see which way this thing goes. But we're just going to work this out until we get our money from Miss Alania. You always get the cute, well, not all the dealers are cute, but especially if you go to Vegas, be some gangster dealers sometimes. But it's cool to have a cute dealer, because if you're ever if you're ever inebriated and you're at the board, at least and you're losing, particularly if you're losing, it's always good to at least see a pretty smiling face. I guess the ladies probably would agree to that. If you guys are or were more of semi-pro players at one point in your life, hopefully you're becoming professionals. Hopefully you're seeing the game for what it is, and making better judgments and looking up with the right folk. If no one's trying to teach you guys principle and theory, and it doesn't make sense, if they're just giving you, okay, do this, and you'll win, don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. It's going to be a huge waste. A very huge waste. All right, so she's actually doing a couple things that I like. And we have a couple opportunities too. 29. See, she kind of messed up a little bit, giving us what we were looking for early, but she's also throwing herself into a position where we could take some advantage early. I mean, actually twice. We'll see though. Just depends on how she rolls this. Sometimes actually, you know how people say, well, I hate, when another dealer comes in. Sometimes it's to your advantage. In this case, even if another dealer comes in, it's still to her advantage. She's already kind of messed up at this point. I see how the numbers are rolling, and we're going to have a couple of options. We've got options between 7 and 12, and we got options between 19 and 24. What hit here? 32. All right, so this next bet, we're gonna play this one. All right, so we're gonna do two separate games on here. All right, so 19 through 24, dozens one. This is what we're gonna play right now, or dozens two, excuse me, with an emphasis. All right, with an emphasis 1924, emphasis on 2021. This is what we're looking at right now. So I'm just gonna go through these three, or these six, but definitely will be when we play. It's obviously dozens too. I'd much rather us. Okay, cool. I could deal with that. Just don't break the string. All right. Yeah, we could lose to 8. I'm good. I'm good on that. That's a good loss right there. All right. So, whatever the next progression bet would be, I think this would be this would be maybe the 6th one. So we'll put whatever this 6th progression is. Might be about $35, I think, if you're playing with $5, something like that. I'm not sure. Remember too, if you're playing with a team, you really don't have to play with a team because just if you don't have the money, you want to play with a team. But if you're playing with a team, just remember also you have to split the winnings. So it's just gonna cost you nothing but time. And we got her. Boom, and got her exactly where I wanted it. 19 through 24. What did it hit? 22. Ladies and gentlemen, if I was playing on the inside, most of the games I'm winning here, and I do this at the casino, people think I'm they freaked out about it. But I could do this for you. The only thing you have to do is register for a session and just come sit and listen. And you don't necessarily have to be on Bovada either. I know the website might say that, but you don't necessarily have to be on Bovada. You can be on anything. The only thing you have to do is just let me know what's happening. So as long as it's live, if it's RNG, you might never. I never trust that fully. So don't ever. It's nothing but a slot. So don't trust it. All right. With that said, folks, I hope this was a decent session of me kind of showing you how this works, and this is what we do. It's maybe the safest thing I've ever seen. Certainly the most greatest thing I've ever done. And it's pretty cool on top of all of that. So we're making money and helping others make money. So if you got any questions, concerns, visit permutationspro.com, permutationspro.com, or you can call us toll free 855-PERM-PRO. Really cool, really cool name. All right, guys, take care. We'll see you on the next one.